My name is Clément Mochet. I'm the country manager for France and I'm the head of mooring systems at BlueFloat Energy. I've been working for a decade in mooring systems, so basically everything that has to do with connecting floaters with seabed. So I got the chance to be involved with different demonstrators and pre-commercial farms. A decade ago, the challenge was really to prove that the turbine could deliver on a floater, while today the real challenge we are facing is how we're going to industrialize and produce the number of floaters that we need to achieve this energy transition. So as the country manager for France, my role is to coordinate the activities of BlueFloat and the partners we are teaming up to answer the state tenders. We also have another target, which is to develop greenfield projects, and here as well I'm coordinating with the partners these activities. As the head of mooring system, this is more a technical role where I'm supporting the different developments of the companies in different geographies, basically providing recommendations when it comes to this mooring systems technology, and as well coordinating the third parties specialists we are engaging with. The Mediterranean basin is quite special because it's quite far from the other basins that we work with, for example, the North Sea. It's also an interesting basin because it's fundamentally the territory for floating wind, mainly due to the bathymetry. In addition to this is also an area where there are a lot of consumption centers nearby shores. Now, when it comes to the BlueFloat strategy, we are indeed developing a large portfolio of projects in Italy, in Spain, and in France, up to 8 gigawatts. Having the synergies in between those projects will be fundamental to leverage the supply chain and to give them visibility when it comes to the required investments. France is a key market for BlueFloat Energy for a few reasons. The first one is that the French state has a clear ambition and vision to develop offshore wind by 2050, with up to 40 gigawatts installed at sea. We assume that at least half of it will be floating wind. Second point is that, of course, geographically, France has a lot of coasts and is very suited with good wind resources. And the final point is that the tenders in France are quite special because it's a centralized process, and basically the laureate is getting on one side the block, but also the feed-in tariff and as well the grid connection. So this is quite attractive. In addition to that, and maybe to conclude, these tenders are extremely competitive, and we see it as an interesting exercise to benchmark our abilities and to compare ourselves. So in France, we have a twofold approach. The first fold is basically to answer state tender. In that respect, we are involved with the Mediterranean tenders with a consortium called EOLIMAR. For Mediterranean Sea, I have the pleasure to coordinate the effort for the tender stage, and I have to say we have a fantastic team here. We are putting a lot of effort here, and we are very ambitious because this is part, again, of our Mediterranean strategy. The second fold of our approach and developments in France has to do with greenfield development. We are developing and creating opportunities, for example, in the overseas territories like the Reunion Islands, but also considering development far shore coupled with hydrogen production. The possibility to combine those two hats, those two functions, is really the beauty of being in an agile organization. So as country manager, I've the pleasure to witness and to be part of this energy transition in France with offshore wind. This is fantastic. When it comes to the head of mooring function, it gives me the opportunity to interact with our energy shapers in different geographies, and this is bringing me a lot of different perspectives that are very valuable. The main challenges we are likely to see for mooring system are quite similar to the other packages that compose a floating wind project. One of them, of course, has to do with the supply chain availability. But coming from this industry, I'm quite confident that it will have the ability to step up to face the demand, providing the developers are able to give visibility and commitment. One specific challenge with the mooring system is linked to the bankability. And bankability means reliability. At the moment, we hear a lot the word reliability coupled with the word redundancy. Personally speaking, I don't think this is very satisfactory, technically speaking, because that implies that we have a poor understanding of what's happening subsea and that we back up ourselves with safety factors. I am much more convinced with the approach of moving from preventive maintenance to a predictive maintenance. To do so, the key approach will be in 3 pillars. The first pillar is coupling monitoring and real data modeling of the system. The second pillar will be to have access to subsea automized inspection. And the last pillar has to do with event-driven protocols.